Welcome to Fantasy and Enchantment, where I describe fantasy books to my husband and see if he is enchanted. My name is Sarah.
And I'm Justin.
We are back with Book 3 in the Plated Prisoner series. Before we get started, I'm actually going to remember to do it this time. Content warnings. We swear a lot. These books in particular are like quote-unquote dark romance.
Vulgar.
They're
have porn.
No idea.
Are we going to get more porn today?
Yes.
Lots of porn, gang.
And spoiler warnings also for the series. So, it's been a couple weeks since we recorded the last one.
Gotta catch up.
What, if anything, do you remember?
I remember she's gold. Mm-hmm. We talked about her poop a bunch.
Unfortunately.
Which brings me to my favorite joke that I've come up with recently.
Oh no.
What do you call a woman who takes massive shits and somehow they magically turn to gold?
I don't know.
Taylor Swift. Got it! Boom! She always edits out my Taylor Swift jokes. That one's staying because that's funny.
Okay.
Shits, and they turn to gold.
Okay.
Shit.
You made your point.
Got it. So she's shitting gold.
She has skin ribbons, remember?
Right, the weird octopus tentacle things coming out of her back.
Yep, that becomes important in this book.
Yeah, I was pretty convinced she was going to jerk somebody off with those. We'll see if that happens.
No.
All right.
Spoiler alert, no.
No? I was looking forward to that.
Her new love interest is Stegosaurus is what you called him.
Okay. That sounds
He's also got 4 names. You got real mad about that.
That's right. That's so fucking stupid.
We'll get more into that in this book, too.
Can we narrow it down to just 1, maybe 2 names? A name and a title, I feel like, would be sufficient.
We'll get there.
Christ.
Okay. Is that a sufficient enough recap?
Where do we leave off? Where's Midas at?
So, they're back in, I think it's the 5th Kingdom. Midas has Orin in a cage again. Because Orin is just starting to come out of her Stockholm Syndrome. Slade has walked in on her while she's in her cage. And that's when she put together that Slade is King Ravenger, who is also Rip, who also goes by King Rot.
Right. Which is stupid. Right. So that's where we just left off. She's back in the cage.
Yep.
Okay.
This one, by the way, is called Gleam.
Okay.
We're going to continue the trend of getting your view on the book covers, because I know you enjoy that.
Yeah, I think everybody enjoys that. I'm here for the fun, gang. That's what I do.
There you go.
Huh, it's a tree with some gold highlights. What are those the ribbons? Are those her back ribbons hanging from the tree?
I never really considered it, but I guess they could be.
Ribbons in a tree.
Yes.
I don't hate it. It's weird.
Okay.
I don't feel like...
This whole series is a little weird.
I don't feel like if I saw that on a shelf somewhere, I'd be like, ooh, I better pick that up. Also because it would be a book, so I wouldn't want to pick it up.
Yeah, exactly. So.
But I mean, if it was the cover of a DVD, I don't think it would sell me.
Okay.
I'd have to look at the back. And then it would just be a whole bunch of porn, and I'd be like, maybe.
Are we ready?
Let's do it.
So we'll read the description. King Midas made me the woman I am today. Notorious. Unattainable. His. The thing about being confined is that you believe it's to keep the bad out, until you realize it's about keeping you in. I'm now in a strange kingdom surrounded by liars, with no allies of my own, but I won't sit idly by and let myself wither. No, there's something that's bloomed from the pit of my repression. Something dark, something angry. But the last thing I expected was for my anger to call out to him. King Ravenger. He's sinister and powerful and entirely too seductive. I've learned my lesson with trusting manipulative kings. So why does my chest constrict every time he's near? You should probably get that looked at. I need to tread carefully or I'm at risk of losing much more than just my freedom. Regret and revenge war inside of me, and I need to figure out a plan fast before I get tangled up in the schemes of kings and queens. Because I won't be caught in a cage again. This time it'll be me setting the trap. I just hope my heart comes out of this unscathed.
I like how she says she won't be caught in a cage again. Bitch, you're in a cage at the beginning of the book.
Yeah.
Also, you struggled to get through that without chuckling at least a couple of times. And I don't know if that's because you know what my reaction is going to be or because it is just a ridiculous concept on its face.
Yeah, I was kind of anticipating you were going to make some comments there.
I try to let you get through the description without
Sometimes
jumping.
you don't.
Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I can't.
Okay. Noted. But at the chest constriction thing, whenever I read stuff like that in books, I'm like, that's a heart attack.
Yeah.
You're having
That's a heart attack, or you drank too much caffeine. That's also how you know the caffeine's working. If you feel a little bit of pressure in your chest, that's how you know you've got enough going.
Okay. You ready?
Drink energy drinks, kids. They're good for you. Give them to your children.
Can you imagine our 4-year-old with an energy drink in her system?
I don't think she needs it. She is an energy drink.
Yes.
She just runs around all the time.
Yes. I'm tired.
That's your permanent setting, in fairness.
Well, it's mostly her fault.
That's fake news. You were tired before we had that kid. On with the book.
Okay. So it picks up basically immediately from where the last one left off.
Okay.
So,
Which is good. Let's not skip a whole bunch of stuff and pretend that nothing matters.
yeah. So, Oren has just realized Rip is King Ravenger. His real name is Slade.
One of his names.
Yes.
Right.
So Oren, having just realized this, kind of flips out on him a little bit, and then was basically just going, what the fuck is going on? Who are you? Why are you pretending to be multiple people?
Why is he allowed to come into her cage?
He's not allowed to. He's just figured out how to get there.
So he just snuck into her
He
cage.
snuck in. He knocked out the guards.
Is there a bathroom in her cage?
I think I remember there being, at the very least, a bathtub. So probably also,
A shitter.
yes.
Do they have shitters? Is it like a commode? Are they in castles? What kind of
I mean,
what kind
it
of
is a ca-
architecture are we at? Talking?
It is. Are we doing the architecture again?
I need to create the whole picture.
It is a castle
Okay.
because it's a kingdom. It's another like medieval-ish kind of world.
All right.
So no technology. Maybe some rudimentary plumbing at best.
So outhouses, most likely. Although I assume she's probably not pooping into an outhouse because they want to keep her poops because they're gold.
Okay.
So she's probably pooping in a basket or something.
Okay.
Poop basket. Bucket.
Okay.
Okay.
Glad we got that covered.
Sometimes I gotta know things. We're 3 books deep, and I just now thought to ask you about the architecture. I'm real invested, in case you guys hadn't caught on.
Okay. But again, Rip, Slade, whatever, he's not allowed to be back there because Midas wanders in and promptly loses his shit. Because Oren is
Crikey,
his
Midas.
property. Yes. His property, the way he sees it, and
As women are, right?
well, this one in particular, also rude. Don't say that to your wife, Justin.
Oh, right. My bad. Whoopsies.
Yeah,
Don't say
whoops.
the quiet part out loud.
No. Too many people have been doing that. Don't need you to do it too. Midas flips out because no one else is supposed to even really talk to her, let alone have an entire conversation, know where she sleeps, any of this.
Stick it in her.
That comes later.
Yeah. Play with her ribbons. Seductively.
Okay.
Diddle her ribbons.
Are you done?
Probably not. We're just getting started.
I know. So Rip leaves after that. Oren again refuses to go in the cage. She says, this is dumb. I don't need your quote unquote protection, because that's Midas's thing. He's been insisting that like I'm keeping you locked up for your protection. It's dumb.
Typically, you don't put somebody in a cage for their own protection.
Yeah, that's not really how that works.
Nope. When we had our puppy, we put her in a cage for everyone else's protection.
Yes.
Mostly our home.
Yeah, for the protection of our home, yes.
Because she was
And the things inside that
dumb
home.
as a post as a puppy.
She still sometimes is.
She's still pretty dumb. We love her though. She's big and floppy.
She eats magnets.
Well, they might be good. Have you ever eaten a magnet?
No,
You don't know.
I'm not fucking stupid.
Don't judge. Don't
Too late.
Magnets, how do they work?
Okay, we're not going there.
We're not talking Insane Clown Posse right now?
We are not.
Can we not derail onto ICP and Juggalos?
No.
Okay.
No.
Fago. Continue.
Thanks for your permission.
Yep, you're welcome. If you're not going to let me talk about Juggalos, then I guess we'll talk about this book.
You are correct.
Whoop whoop.
Excuse me, guys. I have to go file for divorce. I'll be back. You
All
done?
right, I'm done for now.
Okay. So Midas relents and gives her a room instead of a cage. But there are still guards everywhere. She's not allowed to leave the room.
That seems like a compromise that's doable.
I mean, you don't necessarily have to have bars to be caged, though.
But a room is a pretty significant upgrade from a cage.
She had a room before, it just also was caged. So it's really not that much different.
Yeah.
Midas knows that his wife, Melina, do you remember her?
Vaguely.
She's trying to take over his kingdom.
Right.
He now knows that that's happening, so
Whoopsies.
not happy about it. Also learns about the saddle who's pregnant. I hate saddle.
He knocked up one of his bitches.
He did. And he's angry about that.
Yes, he would be.
He did that to himself.
Yeah, and this is probably pre-abortion. There's not a Planned Parenthood in this kingdom
No.
to get that taken care of.
And
They live in a red state, is what I'm saying.
yes, they do. And, like, for the record,
Hence why the women have no rights. Boom! Suck it!
no. Too much, Justin. Now I forgot what I was going to say. You ruined it, Justin.
Oh well, I derailed your train of thought. Just had to throw a penny on the tracks. Whole train went off.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah?
Okay.
Look at your notes. Check my notes.
Okay. We're just going to move on.
Okay, moving on. Right.
Auron is exploring her newfound freedom. She starts, for the first time, freely wandering around the castle, but there is a guard following her at all times to make sure that she doesn't talk to anybody or interact with anybody. Or
Can she talk to him, the guard?
I think the guards are even not supposed to talk to her.
Oh. So they're probably nameless characters. We don't get to know any
There
of the
is one
guards.
guard. So at the end of the first book, there was a guard that was killed. His name was Sale.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then there is another guard who we haven't seen since the snow pirate thing happened, and his name was Digby.
Right, I remember that too. They had silly names.
I mean, kind of, yeah. She gets mad at the guard for not leaving her alone, and then almost turns him to gold. Like, she gets mad, she thinks about it, she, like, reaches out, and then she stops herself. But
I
then,
mean, that seems like a pretty good power to have. She could have just turned him to gold and been like, sucka, and then walked away.
that's also a pretty obvious murder, though.
Well, who's going to stop her? She'll just turn him to gold.
Turn everybody to gold all the
Yeah,
time.
why not?
But then Rip shows up, Slade,
Yeah.
calms her down, and then later on, Midas gets really mad that she left her room at all because, again, you don't necessarily need a cage to be locked up.
So far, this book is just this bitch wandering around the castle,
When
him
you-
getting mad whenever she talks to somebody, and then homeboy shows up, talks to her for a few minutes, and then King gets mad again, locks her down. It's just back and forth the whole time.
You keep derailing me, so that's why. You barely even made it into the book, Justin. Whose fucking fault is it?
I gotta blame the Insane Clown Posse.
I'm gonna have to put that in the description now. You know that,
I
right?
know. And then I'm gonna post things on TikTok with ICP, and it's gonna be really ludicrous, and people are gonna wonder what the hell is happening, and maybe they'll listen to our podcast. We know ICP is listening.
Okay.
Okay. I guess do the thing with the where you talk about the book, and then I talk about not the book.
He locks her back in the room because he's the worst. Auron then figures out, because she's on like not the bottom floor, I think it's like the third or the fourth floor of the castle. It's got like a balcony.
Okay.
So she basically climbs / falls out of the window because she's determined to not be in that fucking room.
Okay.
Well, she's going to find Rissa, who's this saddle, hate that, who she's not quite friends with. She did save her life though, but now Rissa's trying to blackmail her because Rissa knows that Oren is the one making all the gold.
Right. She's not a good friend.
Not really, but you know, the best she's got right now. And they're
Beggars can't be choosers.
yeah, she wants to try to make an escape plan because she's officially decided she wants out. She wants.
She just escaped by falling her ass out the window.
Well, yeah, but the deal was that Rissa has to come with her, so she's got to help Rissa too. And then, we mentioned Digby a minute ago.
Yeah.
Midas has Digby. He is punishing Digby physically, like torturing him, in order to keep Oren in line. 'Cause
But she doesn't even know about it. Or does she just find out?
this is when she finds out.
Okay.
Because she thought Digby had probably died in that pirate attack.
Yar.
Okay. I know you like the pirate jokes.
I do enjoy... I'm a little taken aback by how many of these fantasy books have some form of pirate. It must be some kind of weird fetish thing amongst the
not
community
a
of people reading these
Okay.
books.
Lucian from the Akatar books, it has nothing to do with a pirate. He just happens to have one eye. You just
I made
took
him a
that and
pirate.
ran with it. Yeah.
He is a pirate now.
No,
you can't
he's
have
not.
one eye and not be a pirate. Also, I'm pretty sure he had
You
a parrot
can-
and a peg leg.
I was gonna say you have an uncle with one eye, but you keep calling him a pirate too.
I do have an uncle with one eye. He is a pirate. My pirate uncle Steve. Shout out to ya. He also has diabetes real bad. He might lose a foot and then he would have a peg leg.
Oh my god. I hope that doesn't happen.
He fell out of bed and lost his eye. I don't even know how that happens.
I remember that.
I don't know how that happens. That's a special case. There's a lot of weird things going on in that house.
Okay.
They're great people though.
They're super nice.
But he is a pirate.
Can we get back on track?
We're so far gone. I don't even know. Are we even talking about a book anymore?
No, now we're talking about your uncle.
I see.
Midas is going to send assassins after Melina, but the attack doesn't work. Melina escapes. But it's fine because everyone thinks she died.
Okay.
So, like, it didn't work, but it still kind of worked.
Because she's not really going to be empowered. Everybody
Yeah.
thinks she did.
Yeah. Oren spends 4 days turning everything in the castle to gold because that's what Midas said. He's like, you're going to do everything I say or I'm going to keep taking fingers or whatever from Digby and we're going to start by having you turn this whole fucking place into gold.
Cool.
Trump Tower Part 2.
Total Trump Tower. There's a character in Austin Powers that was obsessed with gold too. Those movies really went off the deep end after like the second one.
They did not age well also.
They did not. If you've tried to watch one of those in the last 10 years, I am sorry for your attempt to sit through that.
Yeah.
'Cause they are not great. Also, there was rumors that he signed on to make like 8 of those movies, and then they stopped at 3. And I think that's probably for the best.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're in this kingdom because Midas in the first book conned their king and then their king died. And so he's taking over this other kingdom.
Yeah.
Their king had a son.
Oh, okay.
His name is Neven.
That's a dumb name.
I think that's how it's pronounced. So Neven has requested to speak with Midas.
And say, hey, you killed my pops. What'd it do?
Well, no, because remember, he put out the story that King Ravager
Right.
orchestrated
Right.
his murder. He's a con man.
Sticking with the Trump Towers.
Yes.
Boom. Roasted.
So the guards escort Oren back to her room, except she's used so much of like her magic power that she's dragging herself along the floor, basically. But the guards aren't allowed to touch her. So they literally can't help her.
They just get to watch.
They have to just watch because Midas has literally killed guards for laying a hand on her. Like, in any capacity. Not allowed to touch her.
It's weird because Midas seems to be real protective over her and really care a lot about her. But he's never around He just doesn't want to be around her that much. He's always like, let the guards deal with this. You would think if she's crawling around and miserable, he'd be like, oh my god, a person who I care so much about, I better take care of her and get her back to her room and let her rest.
But that's the thing, Justin. He doesn't actually give a shit.
Yeah. It's weird why he would kill the guards then.
It's more, but again, he sees Oren as his property, so he's being especially protective of his property. If you view someone as property, you're probably not going to care all that much about their well-being so much as like controlling their actions and who they speak to and all of that kind of stuff.
I guess I've never viewed anybody as property, so it's a little
Look
tougher.
at you. You've never been a woman.
Wait a minute. You viewed someone as property? I'm saying I've never viewed someone as property.
Okay. Yeah, I got that a little mixed up, but
Yeah.
still, as someone who has experienced the flip side of that, congratulations.
Right.
Also, thank you for not viewing me as property.
Despite my constant joking, I don't actually do that.
I would not be married to him, guys. Trust me.
I do make misogynistic jokes, but
All the
they
time.
are jokes, people.
I've just learned to live with it.
In case you forgot, I'm the funny.
Is that what you are?
Yeah, I've got the funny.
Okay.
Teehee. See? You're laughing right now.
Damn it.
I'll be here all week, gang.
Okay. So, Rip finds her crawling back to her room, yells at the guards for not doing anything to help her, but they're basically like, wait a minute, I don't want to die.
Yeah. Understandable from a guard's perspective.
Yes. So he carries her to her room, and then they make out for the first time. Maybe the second time.
Wait a minute. She doesn't have the strength to walk, but she's got the strength to tongue this dude down on the bed?
Different muscles involved, Justin.
It's ridiculous.
You're ridiculous. Midas decides to host a dinner for Queen Kalia, who's visiting from somewhere else. Ravager is going to be there, so Slade. Just in case you forgot.
Yeah, it's stupid that he's got so many names.
Midas, as part of this dinner, he's got Oren sitting next to him, partly so he can do his little party trick where he makes it seem like he's turning something to gold, because he's got this like communication with Oren, except Oren refuses to do it, and he gets real mad at her for doing that, because now she's kind of just humiliated him, because he was supposed to do his party trick.
Right.
In retaliation, he makes Commander Rip carry her to this big harp, and she has to keep playing basically until her fingers bleed. Also, don't know if you noticed, King Ravager and Commander Rip are both at this table.
But that's the same person.
Yep.
So is it two different people now?
We'll get to it. I just wanted to make that
What?
very clear.
Also, if she plays the harp, does the harp turn to gold?
Yeah, the harp is already gold.
Okay.
Because she's played it a bunch.
When she's tonguing down the guy, he doesn't turn to gold.
I think the sun had set at that point because
Oh, right. If the sun goes down, the
It's
powers
fine.
go away. Right. It's real like Old West. You want to catch me after sundown? There'll be a shootout at the OK Corral.
with the ribbons.
With the ribbons. My weird back ribbons. They're kind of like tentacles. I'll jerk you off with them. You'll be coming all over the place.
Okay.
Cum ribbons.
No, actually.
No cum ribbons?
No.
All right.
That's awful. So, that happens. The dinner ends. Oren goes back to her room. Midas comes in right after her and smacks her in the face. And this is the first time he's ever hit her. So she's pretty upset about it.
Gives her what for?
No. No. She pushes him away. And he decides to, like, just leave her alone for a while. So then Oren goes to see Rissa and Mist. Mist is the one who's pregnant.
Okay. Knocked up.
Yes, Mist is under the delusion that Midas is going to acknowledge her baby.
That's probably not going to happen.
Probably not going to happen.
Is she happy about being pregnant with this guy's kid?
Yeah, because she sees it as like a meal ticket right now because this is the king's child. She's going to be taken care of because it's the heir to his kingdom.
Right. She's never watched Game of Thrones. She doesn't know how this plays out.
No. Spoiler alert. Everybody dies. Oren goes to the library. There's guards there who tell her to leave. Rip / Slade.
He tells her to leave because they're like, hey, you keep turning all these books gold and nobody can read them. Get the fuck out.
Well,
What's the matter with you?
they don't think she's doing that.
Well,
But then Rip shows up, and he gets really upset when he finds out that Midas hit her, because you're generally not supposed to smack people in the face if you
it's
care about
inappropriate.
them,
It's inappropriate.
to say the least.
Yeah, bad form.
So he runs into Midas. Midas tells Ravager to take his army and get the fuck out. He doesn't want him there anymore. Orin decides, one, that she's gonna escape like the next day. She's gonna escape with Ravager's army, with Slade. And two, she's going to make this grand gesture complete by fucking Slade for the first time.
Okay.
So she goes to his room, and I didn't even write this part down because I still remember a good chunk
It's
of it.
burned into your memory when the porn scenes come along, huh?
He's like sitting in a chair, and because the sun's still up, so he can't touch her, but he makes her like strip in front of him, and he just stands there looking at her.
He's jerking it.
I think so, yeah. Until the sun goes down, and then they start having sex, and I think they break the bed, if I remember correctly.
Jesus Christ.
Not some of my favorite sex scenes ever, for reasons that we will get into, for
Are they-
reasons that will not surprise Justin.
Are they really graphic and detailed?
It's not even the graphic and the detail that bothers me. It's, again, not going to be a surprise to you. There's a lot of dirty talk, and I'm not into that.
We're not dirty talk people.
No, I know where it goes. You don't have to tell me where you're going to put
And
it.
it's kind of silly.
At a certain point.
As someone who's been exposed to an awful lot of pornography, it's kind of silly.
Yeah, it's just it's hard for me to read. It's hard for me to read stuff like that and take any of it seriously because I just can't. I'm either cringing or I'm going like, you stop, Tom. Please stop.
Are they having conversations or is it
I mean, it's like pretty vulgar, dirty talk.
fuck me here kind of thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna put this here.
Stick it in my butt.
I don't remember that part in particular.
It's probably there.
Anyway, that happens. She agrees to leave with him, but she wants to find Digby first because Midas is holding him somewhere, hurting
Cutting his
him.
fingers off,
Yeah, doing
ripping
all
his
kinds
fingernails out.
of some kind of shit. I don't even remember, but I remember it being bad.
I'd be more interested in the torture scenes than the weird talky sex scenes.
Yeah.
Also, you could imagine how awkward it is for us to try to have sex and talk because I'm real funny, so I just make all kinds of silly jokes.
So next time I'm just gonna tape your fucking mouth shut.
Whoa, that's a different kink altogether.
It is,
Do you want me
you're
to wear
right.
the leather dog mask? I've got a leather dog mask. I could wear the leather dog mask. I have a leather dog mask for completely unrelated reasons, and it was gifted to me, and I always threaten to wear it during intercourse, and I am always told no.
Yeah, not to. What do the kids say? Yuck anybody's yum, but we're not.
What the fuck does that mean?
That means you don't kink shame, basically.
No, you kink shame if people are into feet. That's fucking disgusting.
John,
Those people
Justin.
are fucking weirdos.
Justin doesn't like feet.
Feet are disgusting.
Yeah, I know.
Those people are weird.
Okay,
Coming on feet.
but also, no dog mask.
Okay,
Can we continue?
we can continue.
So, there's a commander in the army whose name is Lou. We've met her before. I just wasn't sure if you were gonna remember her.
I don't.
Okay. She walks Orin back to the castle because she went to Slade's tent to fuck him.
Oh, so he's getting more on the side? What?
What?
I'm confused. You just
Huh?
the other person is fucking him now, or just Orin's fucking him?
Just Orin.
You just said the other commander was fucking him, right?
No, Lou walks Orin back to the castle after Orin fucks Slade.
Okay, I thought you were saying Lou fucked Slade and then walked to the cat. I got confused.
Clearly, and I was confused by your confusion. Now everything is confusing.
Damn it.
Okay,
Why don't they just have normal names and this wouldn't be confusing?
because it's a fantasy book.
I hate it.
There are worse ones than this.
I know.
Anyway,
I've had to suffer through some of them already. If you guys are here, you've probably listened to them. I apologize for those books. And I didn't even write them. I just had to listen to you talk about them. Continue.
okay. They run into Queen Kalia. She is going to marry Midas because everyone, including Midas, is under the impression that his former wife, Melina, is dead.
Right.
But first, she's going to kill Mist and the baby because she doesn't want competing.
You don't want some bastard running around?
No, because what if she gets pregnant? So Orin runs off, tries to warn Mist that this is going to happen. But Mist doesn't believe her because Mist is dumb. And then it becomes really obvious that the saddles, I still hate it. Every time I hate it. They're being drugged somehow. They're really out of it. Mist included. So
You probably shouldn't drug somebody who's carrying a baby.
Yep, bad idea.
Also, I just had an idea that a strip club called Saddles would be pretty hilarious.
And that has to already exist.
It has to. I went to a strip club once that was called the Spearmint Rhino. That's a really great name.
Oh my god.
I wanted to buy a T-shirt just because it's a cool name and it had a cool logo, but it said strip club all over it, and I really didn't want to wear a strip club T-shirt. But I didn't appreciate that it was called the Spearmint Rhino.
Oh my god.
It was in Kentucky.
Of course.
I also went to one called it was called Club Coyote, and it was spelled with K's. So
Oh.
yeah, and that was in a really sketchy part of Indiana, and I think they really wanted that third K. If you get what I'm saying.
Oh my god.
You're scary, Indiana. You keep those weird strippers with their saggy boobs and your plywood stage and your Christmas lights and your bed sheets hung up to make a VIP room. It was a weird night.
Okay. Can we move on
Let's go.
from your weird strip club adventures?
Got a few of those.
Midas finds Orin as she's coming back from talking to the saddles. He drugs her with the same things he's been using to drug the saddles.
It's surprising he hasn't been doing that already.
He's finally decided he's had enough of Orin
Running around all willy-nilly, getting into trouble.
walking around,
Yeah.
talking to people,
Doing everything he's specifically asked her not to do.
basically. And then he takes a sword and hacks off her back ribbons.
Oh, they gone.
They're gone.
All right. Well, she's not jerking anybody off with those, as it
No,
turns out.
remember when I said she doesn't do that?
Yeah, well, because they're gone.
This is why.
Oh, and that explains the cover of the book. He throws them in a tree.
I don't think he throws them in a tree, but it does kind of explain the cover of the book. And that the ribbons are a big part of this book.
It's weird that they existed in the first place. Because only her and the one other guy have weird appendages that you've told me about.
Well, because they're the only two, like, full-blooded fae that exist that we know of.
Yeah, so it's weird that just two people have weird appendages. So yeah, if I were in this king's position, I'd be like, get these weird appendages off of this broad that I'm keeping.
She's had those for a long time.
Yeah, but it's gotta look weird. That's a whole other fetish thing.
Do you want to see the fan art?
Huh.
It's not erotic, I promise.
I don't believe you. I guarantee you that there is erotic versions of it out there.
Yes, there definitely is, but
You know what my favorite erotic fanfiction is?
no.
Guy Fieri. Guy Fieri erotic fanfiction is my favorite thing ever. Guy Fieri laying in bathtubs filled with macaroni and cheese, and he's naked and he's like rubbing it on his nipples and shit. I fucking love erotic Guy Fieri.
Okay, can we move on, please?
It wasn't ICP at least. It might be worse though.
I'm gonna cry in a
Sexy
second.
Guy Fieri.
Stop.
I'm gonna bleach my hair and take you to Flavor Town.
No.
Is that a diner, a drive-in, or a dive? Let's find out.
It's a divorce.
Oh, quadruple D.
Okay. Can we move on?
Yeah, let's do it.
He forces her to go to this ball. I think the plan is that he's going to announce his engagement to this other queen. But the drugs are starting to wear off.
Drugs.
Drugs. So she's got some presence of mind again. She refuses to turn the banister to gold because he wants her to do his party trick for him again.
Yeah. Make my shit gold.
He threatens Rip if she doesn't comply. And at this point, she has figured out, Slade told her actually, that dinner where King Ravager and Commander Rip were there at the same time, he has a half brother who sometimes pretends to be the commander so that he can be the king.
Oh, okay. Is she gonna fuck both of them?
No.
Eiffel Tower?
No.
I'm surprised you know what the Eiffel Tower is.
Look, I watched Lucifer, and that's a joke in there, so
Oh, I don't know what that is.
I know. But anyway,
All right.
unfortunately, I know what that is.
The Devil's Three-Way? Is that it?
They do mention that in the show as well,
Okay.
for obvious
I
reasons.
thought that was a TV show that was on, like, network television. I'm surprised that they're talking dirty talk in that show.
I mean, they don't go into a full description. Like, they go into as much of a description as they can on network television, where he says, like, there's a guy over here, and then there's a guy over here, and and then he just, like, motions with his hands, and then it stops. He gets cut off.
Okay. I'm talking, like, Dirty Sanchez and the One-Eyed Pirate and all those.
I don't want to know.
One-Eyed Pirate, that's a good one. More pirate stuff. Continue. Look it up. Google it, kids. One-Eyed Pirate. We're not going to tell you here. That'd be filthy. We don't talk like that.
Clearly not.
Guy Fieri does. Not us.
Okay.
Erotic Guy Fieri. Sexy Guy Fieri. Get it, Fieri.
I am questioning every single life decision I've ever made to get me to this point.
Well, the good thing is, you know, you made all the right decisions. It
Did
led you to this.
Yeah, it's great.
Who would have thought? This is what you dreamed of when you were a young girl.
Clearly.
You're like, someday I'm going to do a podcast. I don't even know what podcasts are, but someday I'm going to do a podcast with my husband, and he's awesome, and he makes stupid jokes, and he talks about sexy Guy Fieri. I don't know who Guy Fieri is, because I'm just a young girl, and he's not even on TV yet. Fuck me, Fieri.
I'm sorry, guys. I just collapsed for a minute.
And we're back.
Okay. The Prince, Neven. Do you remember? We were just talking about him.
Yeah, got
Okay.
it.
You had a very blank look for a second.
I forgot that we're still talking about a book.
That's the whole podcast, Justin.
Is it? Because this one, I've really taken us on some weird detours.
You have.
I feel like it's been a lot of fun for me. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm having a great time.
We are almost done.
Okay. I'm gonna go watch wrestling after this.
And I'm gonna go the fuck to sleep.
Smackdown! Friday Night Smackers. Give me my slop. Thanks, Fed.
I just said we're almost done.
Alright, finish this up.
The Prince, Neven.
Yeah,
He gets poisoned at this dinner and he dies.
he did.
Everyone immediately thinks that Ravager did it because he's supposed to be the big scary king.
He's scary. He's a Stegosaurus, so he is scary.
Yes.
Wait a minute, is his half-brother a Stegosaurus?
No.
Well, that's kind of hard to confuse them, isn't it?
Well, he's got like armor and he wears a helmet and stuff, so you can't really see him.
Okay.
Anyway, Orin gets mad and calls Midas out and says in front of everybody, like, no, you killed him because you killed his dad, the other king, and you're a liar and you're awful.
And you can't turn shit to gold. I do that.
And then he reveals to Orin only. Periodically throughout the book, there have been flashbacks to when she was younger. So she was a fae. She somehow made it to the human land. Grew up like poor, and she was like a child pickpocket for a while. And then at a certain point where she lived, the only way she could support herself was to be part of a brothel. And this brothel owner that she worked for kept threatening to sell her to this other worse brothel owner who did a lot of human trafficking. He specialized in like children especially.
Real Epstein style.
Yes, this other brothel owner's name is Barden East. She never met Barden East, she only heard about him. Midas reveals he is Barden East. He is this other guy. He had heard about her, tracked her down, and then basically she like developed these powers to turn stuff into gold because it wasn't something she could always do. Ran off. This old lady was like helping her out, but then she accidentally turned basically that whole village into gold. And that's when Midas, quote unquote, found her. And they started their like relationship / bargain, like, I want to keep you safe, whatever.
Okay.
So after hearing that and realizing that basically everything in the last however long she's known him has been a lie, she loses her shit.
As you would.
All the castle is covered in gold because remember she went
already
on that
did
binge.
Yeah.
All of the gold melts, and then Midas gets thrown onto the wall and like encased to the wall in gold. So he's dead.
He did.
He's very dead. But Queen Kalia escapes. So Queen Kalia saw this happen, and she is now going to go tell other people, presumably.
But they didn't actually get married yet.
No,
Okay.
they were engaged, not married. Orin is kind of out of control. She's in this weird like frenzy with the gold and whatever.
Yeah.
So Slade stops her because he's King Rot. He has the ability to like rot stuff. So he basically kind of kills her, but not completely.
Okay.
And that stops her, and then they run off.
Do it again.
No, because she's unconscious,
Oh, okay.
and that's where the book ends.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay. That's a weird ending, but okay. Also, you killed your villain.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
There's another book, right?
there are actually 3 other books.
Oh.
I've only
okay.
read the fourth. I've only gone up to the 4th one.
Okay.
So,
Are the other 2 out yet, or is this like we gotta wait 3 years for them to finish writing these?
so the 5th one is out now. The 6th one I think comes out soon,
Okay.
but I am undecided if I'm going to read either one of those. So,
So you don't like this that much?
not really.
Why are we reviewing it if you don't even like it? Is this really popular? Do people like it?
Yeah, I'm like I am kind of the outlier here,
Okay.
and I mean it wasn't the worst thing I've read in the last few months.
And you've read about 1 million goddamn books in the last few months too.
Looking at you, how does it feel? Not my favorite, partly because like the first couple of books were so slow, and partly because of the dirty talking.
That doesn't help.
And also, I mean, there's going to be another thing in the next book. Also, he calls her baby a lot, and I'm not a fan of that.
That's weird.
You already know that.
Yeah, that's like calling it, if you would call me daddy. Ugh. Nothing will make my skin crawl like that. I don't even like when my 4-year-old calls me daddy. Ugh, it just gives me gross vibes. I hate it. Daddy. Ugh.
You are literally her father. What
I
else
am.
is she supposed to call you?
I don't know. It's just weird.
She calls you Justin sometimes.
She does. I'm okay with that. It's fine.
Okay.
I grew up calling my dad shit for brains, so
Yep.
that's a real thing. He calls me asshole. We get along great. It's a good relationship.
Clearly.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you rated this like a 3.
No, actually it was 4.
Oh,
Minus the dirty talk and the baby, there was, like, things happened. Like, there's a pretty big cliffhanger, and Minus dies, and...
so you don't dislike it that much if you gave it a 4?
I mean, I've read other things that I've rated a 4 that I'm like, yeah. Like, it's... Again, it's not that I greatly disliked it. It's the dirty talk and the calling her baby that are just, like, little pet peeves of mine enough that I don't think I'm going to keep going, because I don't want any more of it.
Unless the people demand that we finish these books, and then you have to read them. So if there's a lot of feedback and people are like, I need part 5 and part 6, you're gonna have to do it.
Fuck.
You signed up.
Fuck.
Make her read them, guys.
Damn it.
It's on you. Comments, questions, scathing rebuttal, all of it.
Given what happens at the end of the 4th book, if somebody could just tell me how often the dirty talk happens, in the 5th book especially, that'd be great.
You're in a whole bunch of book groups and shit. Somebody's gonna have read that crap.
It was a really rude way of putting that.
Accurate.
Okay. Next is Glow.
That's the last one that we're gonna do for now.
And
Okay.
then we are moving on to, I've decided, Once Upon a Broken Heart series.
Okay.
And that's 3 books.
Okay. Well, I think I can suffer through 3. Is there a bunch of dumb characters and a bunch of bullshit?
You'll see.
That sounds like a yes.
You think that about every fucking book.
It's
So-
true. Why do you read nonsense?
I like fantasy books.
Okay.
Don't sound so disappointed.
Can I go watch wrestling now?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
All right.
brother.
Follow us on Facebook and TikTok, FAE Podcast. We will see you next time.
Bye.